am able to move more. My doctor said I wasn't moving enough, and I have a lot of chronic issues. And I complained to my doctor that, hey, you know, what do you expect from me? But then we got approval from my doctor to start coming to the water, and I started coming, and at first I was like, okay, so we're doing this, and then I started seeing weight come off. I've lost a total of 28 pounds at last count, and my clothes are fitting better, which they were getting to the point where they were getting too tight, and with my chronic problems, when the tight clothing, it hurts worse than it would the normal person. We live in such a small space that I haven't been able to really get where I'm helping more around the house, but I can be more active. I can get out more with my family, and I am coming here right now 3 times a week, and the staff is really supportive. I'm really thankful for that, and I've got friends and family that are cheering me on, and I think from what my family says, I'm more positive, and even my kids, my little kids, are telling me, yeah, you're happier, and I'm like, I wasn't happy before. And even my friends are like, no, you're kind of depressed before, and I was like, how could you tell that? I always put on a face, and no, evidently my face wasn't that good, so yeah, people are noticing. That all works, you know, to make life better. And it's a push to keep going inside of me. It's excitement, you know, hey, I'm doing something. And I have a 3/4 spinal fusion and 3/4 rods on both sides. And I've just been told I may have to have a hip replacement. So that's urging me on even more, because I read and I listened to the YouTube videos that said, if you're going to have a hip replacement, you want to lose as much weight as you can beforehand. So I'm trying to do that just in case, because I know how much of a hard time I had for the recovery. It took me 6 months before I really could walk again, and I don't want to go through that again. It was really hard. I didn't think I was, forgive me, I didn't think I was ever going to walk again. And my husband kept saying, yeah, you will, yeah, you will. And I kept thinking in my head, yeah, how do you know? You know, you're not inside my body. And when I was at the hospital, I couldn't even get out of bed by myself, because I had spent 8 years in the bed. I would dare say 93% of the time of those 8 years was in bed. So I've come a long way, and I don't have to spend 93% of my time in bed anymore. On my days off, the days between therapy, I come every other day. And those days, yeah, I hurt a lot. And sometimes it's really, really bad. And I think that'll go away as time goes on. Because, I mean, before this, I wasn't even able to have a day where I could get out and move like I am now. And when I first started coming here, I thought, okay, well, I'll come once or twice a week, you know. And then I've always had this drive. I've always enjoyed physical activity, but to look at me, of course, people wouldn't think that because I'm heavy. But whenever I would get into aerobics when I was younger, I really, the adrenaline, it flows, and it gets you excited, it gets you happy, and it's even more so in the water when you're suffering like I am, you know. And I have fibro as well, and I have it severely, unfortunately. So even when I look like I'm not hurting, I'm usually hurting. I'm just learning to put on a good face. So a lot of times I will come here, and like today, when I walked in the door, I thought, what am I going to do today? My back is really hurting me. And I came and I did what I normally do. And I've had some help from the therapist, Avis, thanks to the veterans, I don't know what you call it.
The Veterans Program.
The Veterans Program. They paid for a session with her. And then before, in the past, I've had aqua therapist and therapist after this last surgery that I had on my spine. And so I've taken those things and combined them and made up my own program that I can do, that I don't feel like I'm just in here doing nothing.
Right.
And I brought my daughter last week, and she didn't know what I do, and she was in here doing it with me, and I think she was shocked because she'd never seen me work out before in the water, and she's like, oh, some of these are hard. And she's a little skinny thing, and she's trying to build muscle, but I was surprised that she thought they were hard because they're getting to the point where I've got to up it, you know. And I'm going to be starting to do that soon. Hopefully next month I come for 45 instead of 30 minutes a day. And so I have all the people that work here, you know, they notice when I lost weight, or a lot of times they can tell when I'm not feeling so good, and they'll say, how are you doing today? And sometimes I'm like, but if I've lost weight, they notice, and that's really good because I've been in therapy in the past and gone to aerobics in the past, and usually you don't hear that. You don't hear people cheering you on except, you know, your family and friends. But now I feel like I'm surrounded by people cheering me on, and my husband's always telling me, you've come a long way. And sometimes I think, yeah, okay. But then when I get in the bathroom and I see myself get ready for the shower, if I look behind me and I show my scar, you want me to show you my scar? I can show you my scar.
Sure.
It goes all the way up almost and all the way down to here.
Okay.
So when I see that, I'm reminded that, yeah, I've come a long way. And when I first came home from the hospital, I was not able to do anything. I was laying in my bed, looking up at the ceilings, asking myself, okay, I got this surgery. Why? Because they told me either have the surgery or be paralyzed. And when I first came home, I felt like I was paralyzed because I couldn't do anything. But it has been a long journey, and I know my journey's not done. And with all the problems I have osteoporosis really bad too. There is a 90-year-old woman living in this 48-year-old body. Or I should say the other way around. There is a 48-year-old woman living in this 90-year-old body, because that's the way I feel. And my doctors even told me my osteoporosis is bad enough to be an elderly woman. And that's not a good thing. That's not something you want to hear. And I have to use a cane all the time. And I have to use a wheelchair right now at least 50% of the time. But we're hoping I get to the point where it's occasionally. But there will be days when it's really bad and I have to use it, and that's okay. But
would you say on average your daily pain level has gone down and your mobility has increased since you've been starting to come here?
Yes, I would say that because even on the days when I am in a lot of pain, which is the days in between, I still push myself harder than I was willing to push myself before. And I don't think I feel as sorry for myself as I did before. And when I go home from here, sometimes I'll feel good enough to want to do things that I like to do. I like to quilt, I like to sew, you know. And before I would say, okay, go get this stuff out for me, and I would sit down to do it, and I'd be like, oh, I'm hurting already. And I'm not doing that now. I can actually sit down and for an hour, maybe two sometimes, and actually get some done. And I don't expect everything to happen overnight like I did when I was younger, because I know that's not me anymore. And like I love to crochet, and I have the severe fibro in my hands, and I'm working out my hands in the water, hoping to make them stronger. And I have to time myself and say, okay, you can do this. And I can't crochet as often as I want, but I hope I get where I can the more I work out in here with my hands. And Ava's shown me some tricks with my hands to work out my hands to make them stronger. So.
Now, how does the warm water compare to any colder water you've done therapy in?
Well, cold water makes the muscle tighten and it hurts. So the warm water, it loosens up the muscle, and you get in here and you're working out, and I don't really think about it once I get in here. When I first came in, it's like, oh, this feels great. Getting out's not always so easy. Sometimes that's kind of hard because all of a sudden I weigh my normal weight again. But yeah, the warm water really makes a difference. And I have tried to work out at the Y in the past, and I had issues where I was really afraid of being hit in the back by a child, and they didn't want to be understanding. And if I was to get hit in the back by a child, I could be in the floor, and I don't want that. That's a scary thought. But yeah, having the warm water makes all the difference in the world. If it was cold, I wouldn't come. I definitely couldn't do it. And it's definitely different than being on land, doing therapy. When I was doing therapy with a physical therapist at the hospital, it wasn't water. So it was definitely different. It was harder. And the doctor kept telling me, if you're not going to lose weight until you start working out in the water because of everything that's wrong with you. And so I tried to say, oh, I'll prove you wrong. Well, I couldn't prove him wrong, and I'm usually the type of person that can prove you wrong. But I wasn't able to prove him wrong. I couldn't do it. And when I got in here, I thought, okay, my cousin, he's a physical therapist, and he said, just 1 pound a week, that's all I ask. And I said, okay, that's all I got to do, just 1 pound a week to keep him off my back. And I'm averaging at least 2 pounds a week, if not more.
So what's the key to your success to losing 2 pounds a week? If someone was to say, Denise, I want to lose weight too, just like you, and I've got some similar conditions, what would be your advice to them?
The water, the aquatherapy for sure. Come and work out in the water. And everybody around here, there's a guy here, Ken, he showed me some things, and I've showed him some things. So everybody kind of helps everybody here. And when you start to lose a little weight, at least for me, it has encouraged me to want to eat better, to drink less soda, I don't make a pig of myself when I eat, but it's made me pay even more attention to what I do eat, although I picked up gum chewing. It's better than cigarettes, right? But I would say just come and start moving, and if you don't know what to do, ask somebody or pay for Avis to show you, and start moving, and come 2-3 days a week to start, and then go from there. And don't expect a miracle. Don't expect to come in here, oh, I've got 50 pounds to lose and I expect to lose it in 2 months. I don't believe that's going to happen. And if it goes slow, so what? It didn't come on overnight, and I know people hear that all the time, but I have to tell myself all the time, I didn't gain it overnight. I can't expect to lose it overnight, and I've been totally amazed at what I have lost. And losing the weight makes a big difference, because when you have less weight to carry around, you hurt less, and just ask anyone here, and they'll help you, and everybody's encouraging. I haven't met anybody, faculty or people who come and work out here, who have given me the evil eye or made me feel like, oh, you're too fat to be here, because I'm not exactly a skinny person, And, you know, I've been to places where I felt that way, but I don't feel that way here. You know, I don't feel like anybody's judging anybody. Everybody's got their own problems here. And some people share, some people are a little bit more quiet about it, and that's okay. You know, some people are talkative, and, you know, some people are, you know, they don't want to know what's going on with their body. And I'm not ashamed of what's going on with my body, because I feel that that's what I'm here for. I'm supposed to be, I have the problems I have to help others. So that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to say, well, this is what's wrong with me, but, and that's why I told Michael I was willing to, you know, give my testimonial, because I want others to see that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And where do you think your life would be headed if this program and facility wasn't here?
I would probably still be gaining weight. And I would be most likely looking at a hip replacement within the next year, for sure. Because I know carrying around a lot of weight doesn't help with all the problems I have. So, I have a strong support system at home, but, you know, even people who love you and care for you, they don't want to see you give up on yourself. And if this place wasn't here, I don't know. I don't think I could have done what the doctor wanted me to do and work out like I am and lose the weight that I've lost. And then I probably would keep gaining weight. And I didn't even realize I had gained the weight I had gained until I got on the scale. And if I didn't have the pull to come to, I would probably be battling with depression. And because I have the pool to come to, on the days that we don't get to come at my normal time, I'm like, are we going to get to go to the pool today? Are we going to get to go to the pool today? It's like an aphrodisiac. and I've gotten where I want to come. You know, I want to work out, and I want to see the people who work here and say, hi, how you doing? You know, because I like to, you know, associate with people I know and people who care, you know, so,
all right, well, thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.